Hey, what's going on, everybody? And we are back for season two of Legacy's Journey $1 Million Agencies, where we talk about creating what outlives you. I'm your host, Cameron Williams, owner of Kinley Consulting, where we focus on strategic financial growth for marketing agencies so that they can live the dream life they deserve and not be a slave to their business. And we do that through CFO and consulting services. Now, as we say all the time, this is season two. So we gotta do it bigger and better, right? So I had to had to put out the APB. I had to say, my people, y'all gotta tell me who are some dope people that I should be connecting with that can give the audience more value, that can share their journey and their stories. And one of those people was my brother right here, Mr. Kamsa T. All right. So tell the people name of the company, how long you been doing it, and then we're gonna jump into it.
All right, guys. This is my name's Kamsa T. I started from the YouTube back in 2007, 2008, but then I started my agency as a senior capstone projects in 2014. So in 2014 to now, I own my business almost like about 10 years now. So next year is gonna be my 10-year anniversary owning KNG Digital 360. So of us, we're a full service digital marketing company. We've been growing like quicks, but I started my business as an LLC during COVID because that's what I started with the restaurant industry, and from there I expanded and grown. So I started with a team of like 5 to 10. Now I'm up to 50 independent contractors. So it's been
Ooh.
a crazy ride, but I got a lot of different articles published, and it's just crazy for me
Okay.
in
So
general.
wait, you said you got 50 team members?
Yep, all 50 independent contractors. So it's been crazy
But
just
that
in
means you gotta
general.
be doing something great though.
Oh yeah, we've been it's been super busy just for us in general. Like up here in Iowa, down in Wichita, I was part of the Wichita Chamber, the Hispanic Chamber, all that stuff. I really enjoy the chamber. It helps me grow. Up here in Iowa, I'm part of the Urbandale Chamber, also connected with them. I'm with the Ankeny and West Des Moines Chamber. So I always recommend a lot of business to join like the chambers in the city. So like every city has a chamber. So it's very helpful for me being a marketer, and I love meeting a lot of people and like helping out our businesses. So it's to me it was worth it
There
in
you go.
general.
And yeah, we used to be a part of a chamber back when we started too. And like you said, it's a great way to kind
Hmm.
of get those skills, meet a lot of people locally in your community and help out. So that's great. All right. Now let's start getting into these questions. So let's go back to the beginning. So you said this is almost 10 years that you've been in
Hmm.
business. So let's go back to childhood. Let's go back to the kid version of Compton. So growing up, tell us like what was your relationship with money? Because I know some people are like, oh, my parents were this, and that. So I had this
Hmm.
experience, or I had without. So I viewed money like this. What was that like for you?
You know what? Money, just being a kid, it's just crazy because my parents. I'm the oldest son, but my parents had 6 kids, so
Okay.
it's like But at the same time, my parents, like I was in sports like throughout most of my life. I wrestled from 5 all the way to college. So like my parents really didn't even want me to work. Like, I didn't get to work until I was in college, my freshman year in college, because they wanted to, make sure we're doing good at sports, doing good in school. But me as a kid, I started from YouTube in 2007. That was before YouTube became popular. Me and my friends, we started like a animation stuff. So like we had over 200K subscribers, over 50 million plus views. This was YouTube a lot being, crazy. Like that was back then when they just started. And then so basically when Google bought YouTube, that's when I started doing a lot with Google Advertising Management with them. So like with me, I was always a hustler as a kid. I remember, like I didn't really get in trouble. I did a lot of like, we did hack the computer software. We did all
Oh,
that fun stuff. Like I was a tech nerd, but at the same time, we never got caught. And then me, like with the money stuff, we used to like sell candy and stuff. Like we would go to like Sam Club, we would do all that stuff. So I knew how to hustle when I was a kid to make my own money. So I didn't really have to worry too much about the money problem. And I'm grateful for my parents because my parents did help us a lot as raising 6 kids, and it's been crazy though. Like as a childhood, I didn't really understand about money, but at the same time, I knew how to hustle and get money for myself though too as a kid.
that makes sense. Okay, so then now you start the business. So when you
Mhm.
make that very first sale, can I don't know because 10 years is a long time. So can you
It
go
is.
back to when you made your first sale? Tell us what was that like? Like what was the emotions? How are you feeling?
I think, that's the thing about my agency. It was like I knew I was want to have a business when I was a kid, but from YouTube and stuff, it was easy because with YouTube I get monetization and I get the money coming in and all that stuff. But me as now I'm like 31, so I was been in sales basically my whole life. But when I was starting my agency, it was my professor told me, "Hey, Kamsa, what do you want to do after college?" I told him I want to start my own business. So my first initial thought was like, you know what? As a senior capstone project, I should just create my own agency. I changed my name like 3 times. It was like Kamsa Agency, Multi Kamsa Digital Marketing Agency. Now it's K&G Digital 360. So it's like, and then I changed my logo maybe like 5 or 6 times. Like it's like this logo that I got right now. I just rebranded last year, so it's been I just put on my Camaro. I put it all over the place. So that's the thing about having a company is also you got to brand yourself. And I think my first time because it was a Sugar Bowl. It was like a gift shop and stuff, and like I had to go talk to them. I'm like, hey, you guys can meet my first client officially with my agency. It was basically almost like a you're supposed to make up your own business, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna continue this agency throughout my college career after my senior capstone. So like I started our senior capstone project started in 2014. So that's when I started my agency because it was before the new year. And then I graduated college in 2015 in May. So, it's like I got to do something that I want to do after college. So I was like,
Right.
I'm going to do all of that. And then I just made it as a freelance before I became an LLC during COVID. So when COVID happened, that's when everything blew up, just in general for me.
Okay, so everything blows up now after COVID. So tell us about when you made your biggest sale. Like when I don't know what that number is. You don't have to say the number if you don't want to. If you do, that's cool. But when you made that biggest sale to date, what were your feelings like? Like, what was your thought process? What did you do to celebrate?
So my biggest sale, it happened in like 3 years ago. So like my biggest sale up to date right now is $40 million for a 10-year contract. It's with a $1 billion plus industry. A lot of people know who they are. Well, like if people know me from Kansas and stuff, from Wichita, they're one of the biggest up there. So they're in the top three of like Coke industry and stuff. Like Coke is who I want, but this is underneath Coke industry. So it's a very big company. And I was like, damn, $40 million to help them with marketing and advertising. But most of the money is for them. I get a percentage of that 40 million within 10 years, but most of the money is theirs. But at the same time, like that's a big number. $40 million for a 10-year agreement with a big corporation. And that's one of my biggest sell up to date right now. It's a $40 million contract.
So, okay, so you said it's big, but how did tell us like how did it like what was the process to get it? Did it like did you feel validated or like tell us about that part?
Yeah, so like I got a text from the vice president of the company, and he was like, I still have it on my phone.
I feel
This
like
is what he
it's worth
said.
saving. I
Let's
would
see.
say
Yeah, I was like,
too.
I'm gonna save it too. So like, this is what he said. He was like, "Hey, Kamsa, I am with
Blah blah
this
blah.
industry. We were referred to your name for digital consultant. I am a VP for the marketing division." And he was like, I was tasked with finding a marketing firm to promote and build our presence across national and international platform. So it's like when I got that text, I was like, is this for real? Like that's the thing. It's like I didn't know it was for real because at the same time you get a lot of like these messages from like scams and all that stuff, but I had to verify it to make sure it was right. So I called them and yep, it was right. So he was a VP of the corporation. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Crazy.
So I was super excited, and that's like that's one of my 7 corporations I'm helping currently up to date with my agency right now.
That's what's up, man. All right, cool. So now you got a big account like that, and I'm sure you've signed more people over time.
Mhm.
So how have you grown your team over time? You mentioned that you're up to 50 team members,
Mhm.
and we know that for agencies that's very challenging. It's not as simple as just go look at some board and randomly pick people. Like there's a
Mhm.
vetting process, and can they match with your team culture? So what are some of the ways that you found have best grown your team over time?
So I think, it's the hardest part was the foundation part. So when the foundation is when I was starting my agency, it was trying to figure out who I really want onto the team. So up to now, I had up to 60, but then I'm going back to 50 now for 2024. So I really like the 50. I know I wrote an article and like I told people I want like a team of 100, but I was like, having a team of 100, it's going to be a little bit more challenging just because it's just so much I got to handle and manage. So I was like, I think 50 is a pretty good number. And since I have a team of 50, like currently right now, I removed like 10 people that were slacking. Like, I want to make sure I get the hustlers, I get the people that are motivated, that I want to make sure they get the project done, deadline, quality. Like, I look at quality and make sure it's very good detail, like for my clients, because, they're paying for X amount of money for our services. I want to make sure my services is like up top notch up there. So I think when I look for people, I don't look at the resume. I don't look at, I look more at the experience and like what they could do for my team. It's like with K&G, I call it K&G because it's knowledge and growth digital 360. So as we grow, we gain knowledge. So that's why I call my agency K&G Digital 360. But at the same time, I look at those type of traits. It's like motivator, hustlers, people that are go-getters. And I know a lot of companies, they look at resume. I have a bachelor degree, and things like that. I'm like, as an agency, I want to make sure you're doing high quality work. I don't care about your resume. As long as you're doing something good and it's, showing results, I want to keep you on my team. So that's how I look at people nowadays.
Okay, I like that. So we're trying to prioritize the people that are hustling, that can actually do the work and do the job to the best of your standards, not just
Mm-hmm.
did a good interview and that's it.
Yep,
That makes
that's
sense. That
correct.
makes sense. All right. So now tell us about this because, of course, we try to push a lot of knowing your numbers so that you can
Mm-hmm.
utilize that to help you grow. And I know in a case like yours, with you doing as great as you're doing, you have to have somebody on your team that helps
Mm-hmm.
with that. So tell us, like, how is your current CFO or accountant? How are they helping you to grow your business? And that can be like some of the cool things they're doing or suggesting to help you to reach your goals, maybe some cool tax strategies, whatever.
So with me, I think like the accountant and like my lawyers and everything that's been helping me, they have been helping me very good. Like that's the thing about owning a digital marketing company, owning any type of business is that you always gotta look at the legal side too. Like I gotta look at my marketing agreement, my contracts. I gotta look at everything because if we're doing something for a client and like they haven't pay us, I gotta make sure I gotta get that money for somehow. So I think I have a 3 month agreement, a 6 month, a 1 year, and a 3 year agreement. So I like to sign people with contract just to make sure they're staying with us as an agency. But at the same time, I could do month by month contract. That's when not no signing agreement or anything, but we always got to make sure everything's on paper so we understand like to follow the rules and guidelines and everything. Because with the marketing in general, like advertising and everything, it's just so much laws and all that. I was gonna get my master in digital law too, so I was like, it's intriguing because there's so much law out there,
Right.
even in digital marketing or like helping any type of business out there. A lot of copyright infringement, a lot of rules and regulations. So having lawyers and my accountant and everything, it's been helping me a lot. So I can't do all that stuff for me in general, like how I pay my people. It's like percentage and project based. So I
Okay.
just collect the money and I let my accountant handle the money because I don't like to mess around with money. So it's the thing. I was like, I'm the owner and stuff.
Right.
I rather just collect the money, write the invoice, let her handle the payment and everything, so I
There
don't
you go.
mess everything up for tax season.
Okay, so then from that standpoint, like, how do I want to ask this? So from a strategy standpoint, so I know I do definitely agree that those legal
Hmm.
contracts are great. So tell me, have you seen like a better or lower churn with like maybe the 6 month as opposed to the 3 month, or is it that hey, if they do multiple 3 months are going to stay, or the 3 year tend to cancel? Like, what are you seeing with their contract structure?
So I think with the contract structure, it's helped a lot. I started with a 3 month contract because usually in 3 months you actually know if the marketing is working for that company or not. And then with the 6 month, that's you gotta figure out what kind of results is happening. And then 1 year you're like, oh shoot, I started this company from A to B. So like this is where the company started a year ago. and then this is where they're now with us as an agency. So I really like the 6 month to 1 year because I just gotta I get to I've been with companies for years, and then I started with my with a restaurant last year. He's just opened, and I've been with him for a year, and we've been growing together. So I really enjoy having clients that would stay with us for half a year or more, just because it's us building relationship with our clients. Like for me, I love building up relationships and understanding the process of me going through the challenge with the client in general. So
I feel it. And yeah, we definitely see the same thing with us that if you build that relationship and that rapport, that in and of itself will tend to go towards a longer relationship, and just a better client experience overall too. So I definitely agree with that. All right. Next question. What would you say is something cool or maybe that you may think is out of the box that your current accountant is helping you do?
I think with my current content, she's in California. I'm in Iowa, so I know I'm looking for another one. But she's been very helpful with me. Like at the same time, like QuickBooks. Like before, I had an accountant. I was doing a lot of stuff with QuickBooks and everything. And but like when I hired her to do like my taxes for my agency,
Hmm.
like it's a lot more that that she could do than what I was doing, just because she has more experience in the accounting firm and like understanding numbers and all that stuff. Like I'm very good at math. I took up the calculus 4, but at the same time,
Right.
I hate numbers. I don't like to mess around with numbers, but at the same time, it's a lot. Like accounting is just crazy. My sister was going to be an accountant major, but she changed it to business supply management just because it was too much work for her.
It's
So
crazy. Like people always think like, oh, it's real easy, right? I'm like,
no, yeah, they think it's easy, but no, it's a lot that goes into it. When you're
right.
dealing with multiple business
Yeah.
at the same time,
Yeah.
it's not like just only one business. As an agency, I'm managing over 40, 50 plus business pages every month. So I gotta know how much money every things are coming in, and then different laws and regulation for each business too.
I agree. I agree. All right, cool. So then that kind of brings us to this next part of so what would you say? So, like you said, you have 40 to 50 clients, team of 50, been in business for about 10 years now.
Mhm.
What would you say has been your biggest investment or best? We'll say best, that's giving you the best ROI today.
So I think with my best investment, for me, I always invest into my business. I just bought a lot of over $10,000 worth of video equipment with new drones and everything, and also getting a new MacBook Pro just because I think my old MacBook Pro was in 2017, so I just upgraded to a 2023 one. So I was excited about that just because I have so much stuff and I love video editing. So I've been a video editor for over 15 years now. So
Nice.
it
Okay.
helps
Okay.
having the right technology and stuff. It's been helpful. So being an agency back then, the only thing I needed really was like a computer and stuff. But now, as we're growing as an agency, we do a lot of video production and a lot of photography work. So I gotta make sure I'm up to date with the cameras and all the equipment basically that I could go out and just help a lot of these businesses, because a lot of them, they don't have cameras, they don't have like all the technology that you need to make a videos and all that stuff too. So it's crazy.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part about tech, like the constant updates, the newest versions. Like
Hmm.
even when you talked about being a digital lawyer, I was like, man, that must be a lucrative career because I feel like digital stuff changes like every other month, if not faster.
Oh yeah, that's the
Especially
thing.
now
It's
with
like
AI can.
yeah,
Let's talk about that because that's your world too. How do you
yeah.
think AI is going to affect what you specifically do, and let's just say the next 2 years?
I think AI is it's it can be very helpful and all that stuff too. Like I'm working on my second prototype for my digital marketing app that deals with search optimization, all that fun stuff. So now my second prototype, I'm also including AI technology. So like a lot of people are using like ChatGPT and all these other type of platform. Like we could use that for some of our clients, but I really like to do. But at the same time, you can't just put something on there and it's if it goes out to like a comment or anything, people know that it's a robot. So when you're using stuff with ChatGPT, you also gotta make sure you're personalizing it to make sure it's like with their business.
Yep.
But you still can use it, but you just gotta personalize it rather than just type something randomly, because people already know that you're not the one that did it. The robot's the one. Like I could tell. when someone posts like something from Gen Z
Yes.
like that. So it's not hard to tell.
No.
That's why I like to like make my client post a lot of like personal stuff, but we could always rearrange it and everything. But AI technology still always can go up, you know. There's always gonna be a lot of different platforms out there. There's tons. That's the thing about being a marketer too, is that you're always expanding. You're also constantly learning. Like I'm always learning every day. There's always something new that I want to try. So like I'm trying to out this other platform that was similar to Hootsuite. I've been using Hootsuite since like 2012, 2013. So I want to try some different like management system that would help go to like my business Facebook pages and the Instagram for like my clients. So I'm always trying different tools and social media tools and all that stuff. Like I have like what 30 plus social media tools I'm using currently right now. So it's a lot. And that's what I tell a lot of people, like, we make a lot of money, but at the same time we're spending a lot of money, like overhead costs and all that fun stuff. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell a lot of people, we make a lot, but at the same time we spend a lot of money per month just
Yeah.
on overhead
And I
costs.
think to your point, that's how you get quality. Like
Hmm.
everybody talks about, oh, I want this super lean firm and we want to be lean and agile. But like the bottom line is if you want a quality product, then we have to spend money on quality tech and people in order to get to that same thing.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you this. Okay. So I just went to this conference. I think it was at the end of September or October, and they were talking
Uh-huh.
about because you mentioned how you just bought this new video equipment and updated the
Hmm.
computer to keep up. And they said that there's AI now that if you like record 2 minutes of like your face saying whatever, that they
Uh-huh.
can then take that and take your voice and make it sound like it's you, but it's AI. How do you
Hmm.
feel about that? Because that would affect you directly, right?
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. It's like me being a videographer and a editor and stuff. Like it to me, it's a lot of like when you're making a video for anybody, it costs a lot of money just because when you do the video and stuff is simple, but when you go into post production, it's a lot that goes into it. But you see a lot of these AI technology that's coming out, and it's crazy because they're using a lot of like similar image, but at the same time it's crazy how like, in AI technology has grown since I was a kid to how it is now. So it's to me I find it insane, but at the same time, I always like to I'm always a creative person, so I really enjoy like post production all that stuff. And I know our editing will be different than what AI technology is doing just because we understand, what the clients want and what the clients need.
Yeah.
So maybe you post a video using AI, they might not like it. So, and that's the hardest thing is like a lot of clients, they have specific needs and wants what they want in a video. So they're super picky. That's how a lot of my clients are like when I make videos. It's like they want something that got to be there. It got to be there. So, if you use AI technology, if it's create a video for them, they might not like it, and that's a disadvantage of using the AI part for video and all that stuff. Just because you're not doing something that a client want, and you're like, hey, I want this I want this logo right here, or I want like the AI is not going to recognize and do that for you because they want mostly everything all personalized just for them as a
That makes
as
sense.
a client.
Yeah, personalization versus just doing something super general, maybe for yourself. I
Hmm.
got you. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do this one. So we talked about the importance of your lawyer, of the accountant. What is your not so favorite accounting or tax horror story?
I think I think my first year as an LLC,
Mhm.
because as a first year as an LLC, I was still working for a company, and I was like, oh dang, I gotta do an tax now for my company. So I was like, I don't know how the heck I'm gonna do this, but at the same time, I talked to a lot of like my business friends that knew what they were doing, and I like and I think that was the best part was like I had business owners that knew what they were doing for taxes. So I was
Yeah.
like, me, because as an LLC, as a sole proprietor, I could do everything by myself. Same thing like putting in with the tax. But when you become a LLC, you're a separate entity, so you have to do like follow everything under your business rather than personal. And then at the same time, when I became an LLC, I knew I had to get a separate business bank account and also like personal. So I always keep my business and personal separate with the money. So if I gotta send money to myself, I just do an own draw, so I know I'm paying myself. But most of the time, a lot of money goes toward my my company, and I make sure I just have enough funding monthly just to pay my bills and everything.
So you gotta tell us a horror story though. I love what you said because
Yeah.
some people don't do that. But like you gotta give us like a I thought it was gonna be this and this got messed up because I thought you were about to say my first year I had to pay way more than I thought.
No, that did happen though
Oh,
too. Like,
that happened.
I did pay a lot of money because I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know anything about the tax write off. I didn't know anything about that stuff. But now since I've been in an LLC for over 3 years now, I understand the process, how I can tax write off things, things like that. Just because nowadays I've been getting a lot of people this month alone because they're like, hey, Costa, we need help on this marketing. I want to do this so I could just tax write off for my business. So I know marketing, you could do a lot of tax write off, but at the same time, when I started as a business, I didn't know anything about that, and I was like, I did pay a lot of tax. So I think that was the scary part was that I paid a lot of taxes my first year as a business because I didn't know that I didn't know that I could tax write off this that like I didn't know any about that. But as a business owner, I'm always constantly growing and learning. So I'm always learning every day as a business owner, just because there's always something new that I don't know about, and I figured out about it too.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Now, how has your definition of success changed from when you started, like 10 years ago, to now? Because I know even for us, at the beginning, it was just like we need to pay bills to survive. So just make enough for that. If that's the
Uh
case,
huh.
and we can pay all our bills, successful. Versus
Oh yeah.
now, going into year six in July, it's more so, you know, giving an experience for my kids so that they can experience the things, that I didn't get a chance to experience. Or, being able to have those, the ability to just do whatever. I mean, nothing crazy, but like if they, hey, we want to go to the jumping place,
uh
let's go to the jumping place. Not like, well, we in
huh.
the budget and like, you know what I mean?
All right.
So, how would you define success when you first started versus in year 10?
The thing is, like, when I first started, I was still in college, so I still do schooling. I got to do all that fun stuff when I started in 2014 as a freelance, and I also was working part time at Fairway. I was in the meat department section, so I was doing all that fun stuff, and I was a wrestler, so I wrestled in college too. So it was a lot of juggling and making sure I'm getting things right, getting all that fun stuff. Because I was also part of the TAC, which was an online newspaper. I was the multimedia director, so I was me and my other buddy, so we like creating videos and all that fun stuff. So I always gotta separate my school with the business. So and since growing, I became an LLC in Wichita. So I graduated in 2015. I was in Iowa for 2 years. I took the leap of faith, went down to Wichita, Kansas. I was there since 2017 until last year. So I moved back to Iowa just because I want to be closer to family. And when I was down in Wichita, I didn't know anything about COVID, and I still had to work. I was the assistant manager at Advanced Auto Parts for like 6 years. So to me, it was crazy because I was working a lot. I was working over 100 hours. I was working with my agency. I had an office and everything
Whoa,
down
whoa,
in
whoa.
Wichita.
Did you say you're working 100 hours?
Yeah, that was with the business and with Advanced Auto Part because I had a regular job, so I was doing KNG Digital 360 in the morning. That would work from Advanced from 4 to 9 pretty much every day. When I was in Wichita, I never had like an off day at all. So it to me it was crazy. But then when I quit Advance, I just been focusing on my agency for over 3 years now. So since I became an LLC, you know, I my first year as an LLC, I was still working in Advance, and like I was a social media manager with Ziato too, so helping them out. But then after the first year, I was like, this is way too much. So I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna focus on my agency. And since then, I just been focusing on my agency. So the nice thing about that is that I have so much free time and I could do whatever I want. So that's what I tell a lot of people, at the beginning stage when you're starting a business, it's gonna be super hard because there's people out there, that are still working and like their full-time job and then transitioning to what they want to do. But like nowadays I could just focus on my agency and like the income, we don't have to worry about money, we don't have to worry about that stuff just because money's always going to be flowing for us. And then when I have kids, like I don't have kids right now, I just got my dogs. So when I have kids, they'll I don't have to worry about going to, I could go to like sports game, I could do all this stuff, and at the same time, like now having a good team, I want to work more on letting my team handle my business now, so I could work on my other ventures. So like next year, I'm gonna get my real estate license. I always want to flip houses, and then also get an Indian food truck. So I'm always an entrepreneur. So I always want to think ahead, and like I want my agency to keep growing, but at the same time, I want to work more on the business rather within the business. It's like I've been doing a lot of this marketing stuff for over 15 years now. I just want my team to handle most of it. I go out, meet the clients, get the projects, get whatever, and then just give it to them. So that's what I want to focus on, is mostly make this as more like a passive income, and focus on other ventures.
That's what's up, man. And I definitely would say, like, talk to your accountant about getting them to help you with that because they should be able to have some great recommendations for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now let's transition a little bit because we talked a lot about finances, how you've grown
Mm-hmm.
the company. Now let's kind of switch to more the personal side. So you told me at the beginning that you got Bay and Bay hooked
Yep.
you up. So tell us, like, what are some of those fun things that you do to connect with, her throughout the week or every month, just so that you keep some of that balance and it's not just nonstop work.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing. It's like, I've been with my girlfriend. She likes to be called baby, but at the same time, I've been with her since the summer. And then like balancing time and stuff, like we always gotta make sure we know what we're doing every time. Like I always text her, I love you and all that fun stuff, like see how she's doing at work. So she's still going to school to become a doctor too. But at
Ooh,
the same time, I got the two dogs now. I gotta, we just moved in together, so we got our two dogs here, my dog Archie, and then her dog Kalia. So I always gotta. She always tell me, since we have a family with the dogs now, you gotta make sure we work with your life balance with work and family. So when she's home and stuff, it gotta be all family, and then when she's not, then it's all about work. So now, like that's what I'm doing now. Is I gotta focus on my work and family balance. So
okay,
I'm trying to get used to it. I'm getting used to it though, but
makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, what are two or three things that you would say contribute to your success? Like, I know for me, like it's gym. I got my prayer time in the morning and being around family. If I got those three things, I'm good. Day's more than likely gonna be a A plus day. What would you say are two or three things that contribute to your success?
For me, it's like always believing myself. Like that's the thing. It's like I believe in myself. I'm also a Christian and Buddhist, but I always believe in God too. I always pray and all that stuff. Like when we're eating dinner, we always put God is great, God is good. Things like that. Like we gotta always bless for our food, and also my family. Like my family has been very supportive of my ventures, like with my digital marketing company. So like my mom basically call me every day. When I was thinking, even in Wichita, she would call me every day just to see how I'm doing. Even if I was at Advanced Auto Parts, she would call me at nighttime to see how I've been doing. So it's like I think always believing in myself, family, and all that stuff. It's been helpful.
Okay, okay. Now, what has being a business owner taught you about yourself?
So I think being a business owner, it's the same thing as I wrestled when I was 5 all through collegiate. So I think with my wrestling career, it did teach me a lot how to be a business owner. But I saw also being a business owner, I was like assistant manager at Advanced Auto Parts, so I had other employees that I had to like manage. So being like helping that as a business owner, I do have a lot of people I got to manage now. But I think having like the background of what I did back in when I was in college, and like my past jobs and all that fun stuff has taught me a lot about being a business owner, and like scheduling meetings. I'm always on. I always If I have something scheduled, I always got to be there. I don't like that. I like also I'm very strict on deadline. If something has to be completed, it has to be completed during that time, because that's the thing about marketing, just in general with digital marketing and like the online marketing stuff. It's very fast paced. It's a very fast industry. If a client needs this, a client needs that, a website's down, I got to make sure the website's up. It's a very high demanding agent job market out there, but at the same time, it's a lot of work. I tell a lot of people it's not easy. It's not easy how it looks like. Like doing these social media posting for these over 40 business pages I manage right now. It's a lot of work. It's not like, oh, you got to post this. You got to understand what you're posting for the clients, and then like understanding about their business. That's what I love about marketing. It's like every business is different. I get to understand how their business run from their point of view, rather than like I'm going in there like basically in their shoes, showing people what the business is all about.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. If you could go back in time to your college or your high school self,
Hmm.
what would you tell them? Like, you know everything you know right now,
Yeah.
but you go back to 18-year-old you or 22, 23-year-old you, what would you tell them?
I was like, damn, I can't believe I did this. I'm like, I started a business in 2014. Like, if I was in my high school year, I was like, damn, I might have just continued YouTube. I didn't know. Like a lot of my people that did YouTube with us in the series and everything, they are big. Like Sky does Minecraft, La does it. A lot of these people that been my friends playing RuneScape back day, they have millions of followers on YouTube right now just because of what they did with the animation and stuff. And like for me, I love like the that's how everything started was from RuneScape, but I didn't know I was gonna have a business. But at the same time, it was playing with friends and stuff, playing a medieval game, just having fun. In back in the day in 2003 and all that stuff when we were kids. That was younger, like when I was like in fourth or fifth grade or younger than that. But it's crazy, like how a game could transition from all that fun stuff, learning about the ecosystem, and everything. I don't know you ever played RuneScape. You might have heard of it. It was almost similar to like World of Warcraft and all that. But you get to learn how to
I
hook,
don't think
cook,
so.
fish, hunt, woodcut,
Mm-mm.
craft. Just a lot. It's a lot of like real life experience, but at the same time, it's in the game.
Gotcha. So you would tell yourself, the college version of yourself, that you can't believe.
Mm.
Wait, I'm confused. Let's run it back.
That was my high school. But I think in college, it's like I think after getting a degree, I thought I would like go and work for like a different like a company and stuff, like in the digital marketing industry, like
Hmm.
grow with them. But I just find it crazy because I never did that. I did an internship. I did that with like different marketing companies, but I was still focusing on my business. So I was like, I can't believe I'm a business owner rather than working for a business, just in general.
So you would encourage him to keep going, like
Hmm.
don't doubt yourself because you're going to do
Yeah.
this great thing. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, we are now at the end of our time. So this is your time for you to tell the people, how do they get in touch with you? Best mode of communication. Who do you help? Who's your best client? What do they look like?
Mhm.
This is your time for that. So I'm gonna give you the floor to do it.
All right, so with me, I'm very responsive. A lot of people could call my number, which is 316-300-3923, or email me at info@kgdigital360.com. I also got my website. I'm working on a new website for 2024, so we're upgrading our official website, kgdigital360.com, to a newer one. Just, I want to make it more better than what I had right now. I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm in pretty much all the social media platform out there. So if the best way is just to email me or like call me. That's the best way people could like talk to us. I work with anywhere from startup to medium sized to corporations. So I work with all types of business. We offer over 20 services, from search optimization to marketing, Facebook management, videography, photography, graphic design, website design, just a lot of different services, which is on our website. I also have a booklet I could send to people too. They want to know more about our service and our pricing. I'm very transparent, so I'm like, this is our pricing. I know right now I'm doing a special until the end of 2023, but at the same time, it's just crazy like the way we're expanding. I know I really want to get Omaha and Kansas City in 2024, which we're in 4 locations right now. We're in Wichita, Des Moines, Fort Lauderdale, and Dallas, Fort Texas. So and once I find the salespeople, because I'm always looking for good salespeople to help our company expand.
All right, cool. So you guys heard it here. We told y'all for season 2, we bringing y'all the biggest and the best So shout out to Kamza. He told you tell him how to spell your name in case because we don't want that to get messed up.
Yeah, Kamsa is Kamsa and then T. So a lot of people call me Kamsa T. I know my name is Kamsa Tepavong, but I'm like Kamsa T. It's just easier.
All right, cool. So you heard how to get in touch with him. You heard he's on social media. I mean, on all social media outlets.
Mhm.
That he has a full service marketing agency doing everything from SEO to graphic design to videos. So if you need his help, get in touch with them. So, with all that being said, Kamsa, thank you so much for coming on the Legacy's journey. Guys, we're just going to continue to bring you guys the best, the newest, the best journeys, the best stories, the best tips, so that you guys can continue to grow your agency and take it to new heights. My name is Cameron Williams. Thank you guys so much for coming. And until the next time, stay safe. Love you guys. Peace out.
All right, peace out, guys.